Hey, how's it going? My name is Fred. In this video, what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring something to you guys to kind of let you guys know where I stand as far as when it comes to insurance, right? So the purpose of this video is to kind of get you guys to start thinking about things that we don't want to think about or don't think it's our time to think about. This video specifically, what I want to talk about is why I feel you should have insurance if you have children, right? And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of times that in our lives that we don't really know exactly what's going on, but we always feel like we're invisible, right? Like nothing's going to happen to us. I'm too young for anything like that to happen. Now, I'm sure if you go onto your social media feeds and look on there, I'm sure you'll find some type of GoFundMe page because somebody's passed away and people are just trying to get some type of money to put towards the funeral expenses. And a lot of times I'm seeing this stuff and I see that people are young, like really young, just passing away way before it's their time to go, right? So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I've been touched by a loss uh, that hit real deep to me. And that's kind of why I got into the insurance industry, is because I wanted to become somebody who can help others out there, right? Because let's face the facts. Like doing a car wash or selling food or all these other ways to try to build up money to pay for services, it's not really the way that we should be grieving, right? We shouldn't be spending our time when we lost a loved one trying to raise funds for the funeral, right? And the reason why I'm trying to stress this to you is because if we just took the time, right, the proper time to identify what it is that we want when it's our time to go, but then put a plan in place, right? And it all comes down to how to properly budget to put something in place, right? So, like I said in this video, why we should have a plan in place if we have children, right? Now, let's think about some things real quick so we can kind of see how inexpensive it really is, right? Because a lot of times people, they'll go ahead and skip on the insurance because they don't feel that they can afford it, right? And it's true, right? It could be expensive, right? Because it's all dependent upon your age and your health, right? How old are you when you get the coverage and what type of health issues you have? Now, let's all face it, as we get older, things start going wrong with our bodies, right? We're not as healthy as we once were when we were younger, right? Some of us, we were just given a bad luck and just been having health issues all our lives. But for the most part, most of us start getting health issues as we get older. So the younger you are and the more healthy you are, the cheaper a plan is going to be, right? So, specifically for speaking to parents who have children under 18, um, the very minimum that I think that you should have is put a plan in place till your kids are at least 25 years old, right? And what does that look like, right? Let's say you have a child and let's say your kid is 8 years old, right? So you got about 17 years. So I'd put a plan in place for at least 15 to 20 years. So that way, what you're going to do is you'll get a term policy, right? Term meaning, you're only going to pay that amount of money for that amount of time. So whether it's 15 or 20 years, you could even go 25 or 30 years, but it's that amount of time. You put a plan into place to at least cover certain things that you want. One, you need a plan to, in case something should happen to you, God forbid, and you pass before that time comes, at least you'll be able to pay for services, right? That's the first thing for your funeral services. Now, what does that look like? I don't know. Do you want cremation? Do you want burial? How extravagant do you want your going home party to be, right? So there's a lot of things that you want to think about, right? You know, do you live in one state but want to be buried in another state or have to be flown to another state? I don't know what that looks like. That's something that you have to do some soul searching for to see exactly what it is that you want. But it's something very important. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is let's say you want to give your child an education, right? So let's say that they had to go ahead and graduate high school, but then you want to help fund their college, right? College tuition. What does that look like? I can't answer that, right? But it's something that you want to work towards, right? So let's say, for example, they go to a 2-year junior college and then transfer up to a university to go ahead and get their 4-year degree. So what does that look like, right? You know, start putting some numbers together. Is it 50, $60,000? Is it 40,000, 30,000? I don't know. I can't answer that. What type of school they're going to want to go to. At 8 years old in our example, they don't even know what they want to do, but it's to have something in place should something happen to you. So that way, even though you're gone, you're still taking care of your child's education, right? Very important things to look for. And then, do you want to leave some type of legacy, right? You know, like I say, the younger you are, the cheaper it is. Now you can get a term policy for really cheap. I mean, I've seen policies $50, $40, a month. It all depends on what all this stuff looks like to you, and it's something that we can go over, you know. Um, but it's something that you also want to do your research because you want to make sure that you have a clue of what's going on, right? You have to do your homework to know exactly what it is that you feel that you would want for your child. Um, and then again, how many children do you have? Some people have multiple children. Are you going to want to do the same exact thing, put all the kids through school, right? So that's the one aspect, right? And this is the cheapest route to go, is to do a term policy, right? They have other types of policies, something with what's called a return of premium, right? And what a return of premium is it's going to be a little bit more expensive. But let's say you were to get a plan, and let's say coverage was for 20 years, right? You get a plan for 20 years. You're going to pay that payment every month for 20 years. But let's say you made it. You didn't pass away within that time. Instead of having just a term policy, right? It's like you're paying for like your car insurance or your house or rental insurance, right? Where you're paying and you don't really need to use it unless something happens to you. Well, the only way to use a life insurance policy is if you die, and it's not going to be going to you; it's going to go to the beneficiary. So, what you can do is you can go ahead and get a term policy. Still going to be cheap, right? You can get the return of premium, which will increase the payment, right? But when you increase that payment, what happens is, let's say you got the 20-year policy, nothing happens, you don't die, you get all the money back, everything you paid into it. There will be some fees to pay back, um, but for the most part, you're going to get, a majority of that money back. And that's why they call it a return of policy, return of premium, right? So there's a lot of things that you need to look um, for protection, right? You want to make sure your children are protected in case anything happens to you. Um, they also have protection plans for children, right? This is something you also want to look for. Let's say you got a kid out there playing in the streets. Some wild guy comes driving and hits a kid. Kid passes away from the injuries, right? Now you got to come out of pocket for the funeral services, right? So they have really cheap plans for children. I think that every parent should have a policy on their child. Um, if the child is under 18 years old, you just want to make sure to put something in place. Extremely, extremely, extremely cheap. I'm talking less than $20 a month, right? Just to get something in place. So it's something that I always recommend all my clients to do, to look for that if they have children. A lot of times people they think that they can't afford it. Well, what you can do is you can get something like accidental death benefit, right? And this is for a benefit for life insurance if you die by means of an accident. So what does an accident look like? Let's say, for example, you're, I don't know, cutting branches off the tree. You fall, hit your head, get a concussion, you die 3 days later, right, from the injury. Now that's the death by accident. Now you'll be able to get uh, a payout for your beneficiary to take care of all that stuff, right? And these are a lot more cheaper than what you might think it's going to be. So I definitely want you guys to think about that. Want you guys to kind of understand what it is that I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to bring knowledge to everybody nationwide. Um, now I'm a licensed insurance agent in multiple states. So if this is something that you might want more information on, I definitely like to get the information to you. I can provide you with a free quote, but it's something that I feel every person deserves to know, at least to know their options, right? What's different for myself uh, rather than other people out there? A lot of people are captive agents, meaning that they're only able to provide products from one company, right? Whereas I myself, I'm a broker, a nationwide broker, so I'm able to search companies nationwide, all A-rated, um, all been in business for uh, many, many years. A lot of them over 100 years. So it's something that you guys definitely need to look into as part of your financial planning. Um, Something that I'd love to talk it over with you, kind of get your uh, get your ideas of what you think about it. So I'll leave a description below of how to get in contact with me. If you're looking at just trying to obtain information, shoot me an email. My email address will be in the description below. I definitely like to be able to get that information out to you. If I'm not licensed in the state that you're in, I'll definitely put you in touch with somebody who is. So that way they can at least take care of you or providing you with a little bit more information than what you have now. So with that being said, I appreciate you for taking the time. If you're still here, definitely like a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We're talking about all kinds of things related to credit, finances, and insurance. We want to make sure that we're able to put you in a position to logically think things out. And life insurance is it's something that I'm very passionate about. I myself have actually donated to uh, a few different GoFundMe pages this week alone. And it's sad. It's sad to see it. It's sad to see how many times I see a GoFundMe page. Um, I always donate just because of I wish I was able to talk to the person before anything happened. That way their loved ones are able to properly mourn them without trying to go through the struggles of trying to put something together for their going away. They're going home. So that being said, again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and we'll talk soon. Have a good one.